Okay. Now it should work. Okay, there we go. Welcome to my channel. Well, two games against the Brewers and they lost so far. Um, Six straight. 10 out of 11 they've lost. Um, I, I, I mean, I hate to say this, but like, don't expect the Mets to get far. If they make the playoffs, don't expect them to get far. I mean, there's not much else I can say about that, quite honestly. Um, this is a game where mistakes were made, and massive amount of mistakes, and the Brewers capitalized. I mean, quite honestly, when the pitching clock ran out, I mean, well, it should have been 3 outs, but no. And then what happens? Contreras basically hits the home run, gets them up by three. I mean, if they were down by one, maybe the ninth inning might have been different, but I don't know. And then Soto check swinging. I thought that was a check swing, but looks like it was a full swing. Um, I hate to say this, but like the Mets, so far what Stearns has done was decent, but he had the shot in the offseason as well as trade deadline to improve the Mets considerably, specifically with their pitching. Right now, they're not getting past the fourth inning, barely getting past the fourth inning. I mean, Montas, that was a disaster for signing. It made no sense why they were signing him, and it's showing. And I think Stearns is truly regretting it. Uh, Gilbert, I mean, he's doing decent. I mean, granted, I understand getting the. It was good to basically build up the bullpen to prepare for October, which makes absolute sense. But you still needed pitching. Starting pitching was the biggest thing. Starting pitching is the one thing that they need, and they don't have, unfortunately. And that's the sad part about it. They have no starting pitching. You're gonna say Senga? No. You're gonna say Manea? He's probably only decent enough. Holmes, he's not gonna last that long. The way he's pitching right now, he's not gonna go beyond the third or fourth inning. Montas, forget that. Um, Peterson, maybe he's the lone one that could get past the fifth inning, but that's only if he doesn't make mistakes. But he's gonna make mistakes, similar to Senga. It's becoming a classic thing now, where like for the first four innings they do really well, and then after that they just suck. It's like oof, like a huge cliff. Um, what do the Mets do? What can the Mets do? I have no idea. I mean, right now, only thing I think of is like to inject some life to make sure that they make the playoffs. You might have to bring up McLean and Sprout. I hate to say it, but you have to bring them up because there's not much else you can do. Miguel, even though he's doing, he may come back by the end of the month. It's still not going to be enough. The Mets are now going to be 4.5 games behind the Phillies, assuming the Phillies have won. Um, but they're not doing much. They're not doing much. This does not bode well. This does not bode well as a Mets fan. I don't think they're going to. I mean, it looks like this is a case where signing Soto raised up some serious hopes. And this is what I was afraid of again. When they signed Soto, hopes were up there. Just like what they got Verlander and like the fact that they traded Verlander for Gilbert. If Gilbert produces, that means the Mets made a huge mistake. Because signing Verlander was one, and then trading Verlander for Gilbert, paying most of Verlander's salary, and then now trading Gilbert away. I mean, it all depends. I mean, hopefully Rogers may leave at the end of the season too. If he leaves, I mean, it's a big mistake. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, don't know. There was an interesting article. I would say this. There was an interesting article in the New York Times, aka and the Athlete. No, the what's it called again? The Athletic. Um, it was about Tampa Bay and how they've operated since 2005, basically. And it's a model that almost everyone is picking up, basically. Um, I mean, they invented I don't want to say they invented the shift, but they took advantage of the shift. And because of that, baseball changed things. And like even um, one man reliever, basically one hitter reliever, meaning a reliever would come in just for one hitter, and then switch him off to like a longer reliever at that point. Baseball was kind of banning some of those. Like they banned the switch. I mean, not the switch. They banned the well. I mean, I don't want to say they made it illegal, but the shift was like something that was I enjoyed. I love defensive baseball. I love defensive baseball. Small ball is where it's at. I love it from my perspective. Yeah, offense, like draws in fans, but if players go, then what's the point of it? I mean, honestly, we signed Soto. Yeah, that's great, but if Alonso leaves, I mean, honestly, that's assuming they consistently hit. I mean, Soto is hitting now. Soto's hitting as well as, and I congratulate Alonso. Alonso now has tied Darryl Strawberry. He's definitely going to break it and get above him basically at this point. But let's be honest. If Alonso doesn't stay, Soto's going to get beyond it. He's going to surpass him by who knows how many home runs in the next 3 years. He'll definitely get past it with the next 4 years, most likely, depending on how it goes. Lindor, I mean, he was a mistake in the third inning, but that happens. Mauricio, I honestly, I don't know what he did, but I'm gonna chalk it up as all right. Fine, if this happens one time and like in the playoffs, if it doesn't happen, great. But this this is a case where the Mets need to toughen up and essentially go back to basics. I think that's what the problem is. They're not going back to basics, and they're not enjoying the game as much. That's what it seems like. They're not enjoying the game as much. Specifically the hitters when it comes to hitting. I mean, I just say this, but JD Martinez, we need JD Martinez back, not as a hitter, but at least as an advisory role, or at least a hitting coach. Because quite honestly, when he was there, the Mets were doing really well hitting wise, and so offensively speaking, their defense wasn't that great. Um, and that was my fear as well too. And this is what it is. I mean, that's the one thing that Tampa Bay learned from that's why I said everyone's trying to emulate Tampa Bay is like you are paying for defensive players, not for the hitters, because everyone's knowing offensive power, you're going to get the money. But if you get guys that are really excellent defenders, you can play small ball at that point. Honestly, it's not the whole game of Moneyball. They just took Moneyball to another extreme, basically. And that's why like I was hoping Stearns could do that with the Mets. Um, it's more so they're trying to copy what the Dodgers are doing. Of course, you saw what the Dodgers are doing. Basically, build a farm system as well as get the stars in place so win now and keep winning as far as you possibly can. Can the Mets do that? I honestly don't know. The thing is, the Mets need pitchers. If they don't have pitchers, it doesn't work. And the sad part is, everyone's gonna say, well, Senga still. I argue all you want until Senga proves otherwise in the playoffs as well. He's not a number one starter. He's not a number two starter. He's a back of the rotation type of guy. Manea at least has proven that he can be a number two, number three type of a pitcher, but he's not going to be the number one pitcher. Let's be honest. He's not that dominant. He's not. He's showing it still at this point. I mean, honestly, if he gets back to what it was, it's a possibility that last year was a fluke because after he adjusted, it became to a point like hitters couldn't adjust to him. But now I think they might have adjusted to him a little bit better. But only time will tell, and we'll see what happens. If he reverts back to where he was with the Giants, then maybe the Mets made a mistake in signing him as well too. And I think Stearns, for the lack of the better word, Stearns was able to pick up misfits of pitchers because they were able to revitalize themselves with the Mets. But in the organization, I think what needs to be is the Mets need to scout better, a little bit better, and see what they can do. But in any case, the Mets are going to have some serious issues. They are going to have some serious issues. Let's be honest. I mean, hitting is going to be a problem. Defense is a problem now, and they're starting pitching. They can't get past the fourth inning. That's a problem as well too. The bullpen's good, but it can only go so far until they tire out themselves. And Mendoza can't do much with what he has. I'd say, like the Mets might, to inject some life, they might have to bring up Sprout and McLean. I would love to have seen him in 2026, but you might have to bring them up, and they might have to be the starters. Hopefully, they can go beyond the sixth inning at least. They can go for 6 innings. Those two pitchers, we could have a revitalization of what it was with the Mets 2014 to 2018, basically, or 2013 to 2018. And when I say 2013, it's because of the fact that, like, let's be honest, with Dickey, it was 2012, I think, and 2013. I mean, Harvey started showing his capabilities in 2014. Wheeler started coming into his own at that point, as well as Syndergaard after the trade coming into his own, and then DeGrom showing his chops. I mean, I keep saying this, and I know I'm being a dead horse, but I mean, Wheeler and DeGrom, I mean, I wish the Mets re signed them both back then. I wish they just never let them go, but they went, and more power to them. Um, the Mets need to bring. I mean, I'm hoping Sprout and McLean are those pitchers, like similar to what Harvey was, before he got injured. Harvey, Degrom, and Syndergaard were the big three or big four with Wheeler as well too. I mean, that's what the Mets. It's been proven. You have great pitching, hitting will come along. But if the pitchers can keep them in play, and pitchers can keep the score low, then the hitting will come in at that point, and small ball will help out at that point. And classic point: Atlanta Braves, Oakland Athletics with Mulder, Zito, and Hudson. I hate to say it, but Yankees with their pitchers, they were doing really well as well too. Even though they had a lot of hitters, their pitching kept them in play at that point. So, and let's be honest, Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling pretty much were the team that basically won the Diamondbacks that World Series. Similar to the Florida Marlins when they won the World Series against the Yankees themselves as well too. That second time around, it was Beckett and D Train at that point. So this is a case where, like I said, it's like pitching will get you far. The Mets need some dominant pitchers, but the problem is they're not going to find any. Sprout and McLean are great, but they need more pitchers to come from the minor league. Hopefully, there's a few more hitters you can get, like Soto. They signed Soto, so it's not that hard to get hitters. Pitchers are much harder to come by, specifically, and you don't want to overpay for them at that point as well too. Like PCA, yeah, it was a mistake, but it is what it is. I mean, I hate to say it is what it is, and it was a case where they needed to do what they needed to do. I mean, the Mets. I'll say this. I forgot the GM that traded him for him, but he was an agent at the time. Then he became the Mets, GM. I forgot his name now. I'm not gonna look it up, but when he traded Kelnick for Diaz, I thought that was Diaz and I forgot the guy's name now. Jeez, the second baseman, Cano. I thought that was a huge mistake, but it turned out to be right. I mean, Diaz is now becoming a dominant pitcher, and it turned out to be good.